This is Estes Park, Colorado, the gateway to Rocky Mountain National Park and the place I've called home for the last 8 years. I've been skiing since I was 2, and it's been a huge part of my life, which is why it's so important to me what's happening with climate change and how it's affecting our winters in my home. Since the Industrial Revolution, the global temperature has increased by almost 2 degrees Fahrenheit, and snowpack in the western U.S. has shrunk about 10 to 20% over the past 40 years. This affects everything in Colorado, from water to ecosystems to our economy. In reality, it's us humans who are causing these changes because of our output of greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases in the atmosphere allow reflected solar radiation to be trapped as heat. While types and amounts of greenhouse gases are natural, humans have caused some of them to increase, such as carbon dioxide and methane. The main human-caused sources of greenhouse gases are from electricity production, agriculture, and transportation. This is what experts have to say.
What do we see locally? We can see there's a mix of increasing and decreasing. And this station, what we've seen is there's been a decrease in time of peak SWE. It's not necessarily significant, but there's a decrease in the amount of snow. And we look at the 70s to recent, we see a significant decrease. Loosely corresponds to a really strong warming of temperature.
The good news is that this has not happened everywhere.
There's lots of work that's taken place all over the West, in Colorado, and even in Rocky Mountain National Park that shows that there's earlier snowmelt taking place because you're getting warmer springs. But those are mostly at lower elevations. We're up above 10,400 feet at Loch Vale watershed, and at that elevation, so far, we're not seeing evidence of that.
Scientists use general circulation models to show potential climate changes for particular places. From these models, we can look at how snowpack in Rocky Mountain National Park might change. This graph shows snowpack over time with historical values in gray and 2 varied futures in blue and red. They show the range of what might be expected for the snowpack based on modeling. The best scenario for Rocky snowpack is the blue line, where increasing precipitation makes up for warming, leading to a similar snowpack as the past.
Water that is kept in snowpack in the Rocky Mountains, it used to store that water that went down the Colorado River. There's so much less of it, and that's been happening over the past 23 years. A combination of less snowpack in some years and especially higher temperatures in most years is drying out the soil. It's causing moisture to be lost back into the atmosphere and not into the rivers, and the Colorado River levels are going down much faster than anyone thought they would.
This affects the 40 million people who depend on water from the Colorado River.
What we've seen in terms of impacts of climate change is more wildfires. Over the last few decades, we've seen a lot more wildfires.
Additionally, the shortened ski season may cause ski resorts to lose an average of a month of ski days by 2050, with hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue at risk.
Tourism is the #1 economy in Colorado.
Usually with low tide snow years, it brings lower sales. We work on a very seasonality of platform where, people come in to use our equipment for winter rentals. They start thinking about winter when it's cold and snowy out, and then they, need that new snow boot or jacket or so on and so forth.
But there are ways to combat and adapt to these changes.
I think we have to be creative. We rented a ton of ice skates this year because there was no snow, but there was ice, and it was cold enough in the alpine environment. And so what we're constantly trying to do is look for other revenue streams.
There's new technology out of Europe where they are making ice with this technology up to about 15 or maybe they said even 20 Celsius. They can put this out.
We need to stop emitting greenhouse gases immediately. And that's not just carbon dioxide, it's methane, it's nitrous oxide. The biggest change an individual can do is stop flying. Individual airplane flights cause as much greenhouse gas emissions as trying to conserve an entire year of composting.
Organizations like Protect Our Winters tackle climate change problems in the government and in communities. Many of these groups are funded by donations, which is a way for anybody to contribute to saving our Earth. I started my research on the snowpack because of its effects on my own skiing, but now I see how climate change is a much larger issue which affects everyone and everything.
It starts with us.
Us!
Us.
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 Us.